Hello, everyone, and a very warm welcome to Rev Sports. And today, another team has broken through this fortress, a stadium that was once a fortress, to a team that had outclassed every possible team in this IPL tournament. But now the walls of this stadium, which was once a fortress, started to crack initially. Now it has broken down completely. Sunrisers Hyderabad has also broken the curse of winning at Chepauk. It has been dramatic exit for Chennai Super Kings. It is the end of their season. Mathematically, I don't think they can come go as any farther than this. Playoff hopes are very bleak at this moment. But irrespective, we are joined by Bharat Ramraj and Trisha Ghoshal, who will be discussing further what went wrong for Chennai Super Kings, what went right for Sunrisers Hyderabad, and much more. Snehashish and Abhishek might also join us. So, without further ado, Bharat sir, I'll start with you. Give us a lowdown what happened with Chennai Super Kings. They tried, it was a sluggish pitch, but still they tried their best. David Brevis came in, scored a good amount of runs for Chennai. The bowlers did pretty well, but at the end of the day, they came up short.
I guess 154, yeah, 154 was not good enough. They needed at least 170, 170, at least 175, I think 170 to set a competitive total. Though the track was tricky, still they needed another 15, 20 runs. So Shaikh Rashid got out first ball. There it started. Sam Curran obviously couldn't get going. Then Ravindra Jadeja again, once again played that kind of a knock where he couldn't really press the accelerator, 21 of 17 balls. Yeah, Matre scored a few boundaries. Brevis also, as you noted, came and scored a few boundaries, but they just couldn't get that kick on, that accelerator. They just couldn't press the accelerator or turbocharge the engine. That is where I think CSK basically lost the game. Yes, he tried hard with the ball, but as I noted, I don't think 154 was enough in those conditions. So credit has to go to SRH. Their bowlers, Unad Kut, Harshal Patel, even Pat Cummins used the cutters really well. Obviously, Unad Kut and Harshal Patel are known for it, renowned for it. Just getting it to cut and Unad Kut from round the wickets, and Harshal Patel also with his dipping slower ones a few times. I think these conditions helped those two bowlers, and to an extent Pat Cummins as well, who was also known for doing that. So yeah, full credit to SRH. They won the toss and made use of it and went on to win that game.
Yes, that is how it happened. But before I go on to further, other panelists, just wanted to let you guys know that this is a show for you guys. So please engage with us. Put on your comments here on YouTube, on Twitter, and do not forget to use the hashtag AskRevSports. We'll take all the questions. As much engagement as possible. Please engage. So we'll just go on to Trisha Gurkhal's. Chennai season is more or less over now. It was a 400 T20 game for MS Dhoni. Didn't work out. Harshal Patel got the better of him for the fourth time in IPL. Where does this go for Dhoni and the franchisee from here on?
Look, I think Dhoni is playing as a brand. Dhoni is playing for the leadership and maybe at times for those flash stumpings. But more than that, we all knew that Dhoni was struggling. At the end of the day, fitness becomes a huge issue when, yeah, that's how Dhoni's career is going, like the lights here. I'm so sorry for the joke. Sorry, Dhoni fans. But no, I'll be very honest. Today, I was upset the way he got out, and the expression on his face actually makes me feel bad. It was almost like a hero suddenly realizes that probably I am not at my best. He can still hit sixes. But maybe today, I genuinely felt that he is looking helpless, even as a captain. I mean, Dhoni is one of the sharpest minds we have always known. Not seeing that gut feeling changes. So, somewhere I feel it is more about the brand. And if it is more about the Dhoni brand, then keep him as a mentor. Of course, give him the reins of the Chennai team, but maybe not in the playing 11. Now, I think with the 5 matches to go, CSK has to concentrate on who will they, hand over this baton to? Captaincy Rituraj, sure, once he's back, but what about the rest of the players? So that part needs to be worked on. And as someone who has lived in the Dhoni era, I've lived in the Saurav era and then Dhoni era. I think it feels sad. It feels sad when the ending is like that, and that is all the more reason, Naman, I want him to go with head held high, and not in a situation where everybody is saying, "Oh, you know what, Dhoni should leave. Dhoni should leave." You don't want that happening to your legends. So I think Dhoni should reconsider. To be honest, maybe after the Kolkata match, because people in Kolkata are buying tickets only to watch Dhoni. Just by the way.
Everyone, wherever Dhoni goes, everyone is there to just watch MS Dhoni. Such is the aura, such is the magic of that person. Abhishek, but I'll come to you if your net is fine this time around. क्या आप हमें सुन सकते हो अभिषेक?
Yeah, I can hear.
ठीक है, चलो बढ़िया. So Abhishek, you saw the match. It didn't went well for MS Dhoni and Chennai Super Kings. But मैं एक प्लेयर की बात करना चाहूँगा, कमिंडो मेंडिस. He was brought in. बहुत पैसे आए थे टीम में. आज बहुत प्यारी एक कैच ली, एक विकेट ली और बैटिंग में भी, I mean, he scored runs. So your thoughts on how well of a player, I mean, substitute this was for SRH?
He was really brilliant. अगर ब्रेविस का एक वो ओवर निकाल दिया जाए जहां पे उन्होंने 20 रन मारे थे, except that I think he bowled really well. He caught a catch as well. बहुत ही tremendous catch था, even catch of the tournament we can say. And in batting also he played sensibly. जब विकेट गिरा अनिकेत वर्मा का, we thought कि एक और विकेट आएगा तो I think मैच टफ हो जाएगा SRH के लिए. He really played very well. Shots ध्यान से उस उन्होंने चुने और जहां पे सिंगल मिलते थे वो निकाल रहे थे. तो उन्होंने गेम को चलाया और गेम को चला के फिनिशिंग लाइन तक वो लेके गए. कमिंडो मेंडिस बहुत ही ब्रिलियंट थे आज फ्रॉम एवरी पर्सपेक्ट.
He was brilliant for SRH, but coming to Snehashish. Yes, it was a tough day. I will not say much, but a big boost was that David Brevis scored. Did try his best to get Chennai at this very sluggish pitch some kind of score, some kind of total that they can. But again, Harshal Patel came out and delivered his one of the best performance he can. He has been one of the best bowler, not one of the. He has been the best bowler for SRH this season, irrespective of how the team has performed. How do you see this performance by Harshal Patel? He's a former purple cap holder.
Yes, absolutely. And I was going through stats, and this is turned out to be his third best spell in IPL for his. So you can understand that what a special performance it was. And obviously, we all know that how good he is with his cutters and all. And I think at Chepauk, when we all know that the ball, the bowlers get some grips and all. So every team knows that whenever you are facing Harshal Patel in that wicket, he will use his cutters and slowers, and that is what he has done today. And obviously you have to give credit to SRH fielders also. I think they were brilliant in the field. The way everyone took their catches and all, I think they are brilliant. So overall, the fielders also complimented the bowler, and obviously bowler responded. And look at the wicket that he took. He took the wicket of MS Dhoni. He took the wicket of Dewald Brevis. Brevis was looking brilliant. I will say it was so good to see Brevis batting today. Actually, me and Trishadi were on phone call while Brevis was batting, and we both were talking. How good to see that young kid playing such a knock. It was a tricky track to bat on, and especially if you see Brevis' career, it's a very very young career you can say, but he came with a reputation, the next big thing or something for Mumbai Indians, but it didn't work out, for him in 2 seasons. Then he didn't play 1 season, and now he was unsold in this season. So it was quite surprising for me because he scored a lot of runs in different franchise league, be it SAT20 or different franchise league, but somehow he went unsold in the IPL auction. But now he got a chance in CSK, but in his first outing for CSK, he looked so good. He looked so good, and if a batter and that too, a foreigner can play that kind of shots in this kind of wicket, I think he has some potential for sure. So I will keep an so we I think we all will keep an eye on him in the upcoming games, because definitely we're not going to see CSK more than 4 games in this season. That is for sure.
5 games.
Oh, sorry,
Mathematically,
five
also
games.
they have to play 5 games. Like even we
Oh,
don't
sorry.
want to.
Sorry, I thought 10 games played. Sorry.
But I just go to Bharat sir. I mean, he's the technical guruji here. Sir, your thoughts on Harshal Patel, the way he bowled today?
Did
Yeah,
you go to
obviously.
Abhishek or you just ignored him like completely?
No,
Just
no,
asking.
I went to
Oh,
Abhishek. I never ignored him.
okay.
He spoke, he spoke. He's patchy, but he's speaking. Okay, Bharat sir, your
Yeah, in
say.
these conditions, I think he knows how to bowl. So there's not much to comment because he will bowl those cutters, he will bowl those dipping slower ones, then he will pull his length back, ball back of a length, and again you will see him bowling those slower short ones. So that is what I think he basically did. Even if you look at some of those wickets, with someone like MS Dhoni, it was that short of a length. With someone else, it was a dipping slower one, or he used those cutters. So I just this Harshal Patel, it is a quintessential Harshal Patel performance in that sense, because one has seen this for the last 5 6 seasons or whatever it is, not just in the IPL, even in domestic cricket. Uh, you expected that from him in those conditions. Same with Unadkat to an extent. From round the wicket, he will bowl all those cutters, sometimes pull his length back. Even Pat Cummins is pretty good at it. So those three really combined well, and that goes back to the old point that if there is something in it for spinners, then the pace bowlers also can come into play. If they have the required tricks, not just about cutters. If they can get the old ball to move around a little bit, because expect the conditions to be a little more abrasive, at least in the first innings. After that, obviously, dew might have come into play, but at least in the first innings, the conditions might have been slightly abrasive. So yes, they utilized the conditions really well, and Harshal Patel, I guess, was the top performer of the lot.
Yes, so the expert has spoken, but so today we have segments going on, and before we get into the other segment that we have planned, just wanted to put out a stat that this was Chennai's fourth defeat at Chepauk, the most that they have had in a season. Last time it happened was in 2012 when they lost, and it included the loss in the final as well. So that's how bad Chennai has been this season. But let's move on to the next segment, and that is the spotlights on the players that have performed today. So I'll start with Trishadi. Trishadi, who was the standout performer for you in this match? Uh, any reason? And who, according to you, was a surprise performer? And thirdly, who was the biggest flop today?
Okay. But I don't know why have you become coffee with Karan all of a sudden. But what do you love, hate, and tolerate about this match? I think I will go with coming to Mendes, as a whole, the whole package, the bowling, obviously the brilliant catch. In fact, I had tweeted that I would love to know if Kamindo Mendes, when he plays football, say for example with his friends, if he's actually a goalkeeper or not, because the way he jumped and the way his hands were there, it's absolutely a goalie stance. So that was something. It was a sensational catch, and in fact, that was the time we were on call, Snehashish and me. And suddenly Snehashish was like, oh my God, oh my God. I was like, what just happened? What happened? Something happened at home. He's like, no, what a catch. And somehow my OTT was a little late. So I was like, no, it's a six. He's like, no, it's a catch. But yeah, of course. It was a fantastic catch. And then look, SRH has not been batting well, right? And even here, Travishek, did not really get the start. Ishan was holding one end, but at the other end, you needed somebody to stand and finish the game off. And I think Kamindo Mendes did a commendable job of that. Though his name is very, very, a tongue twister in itself. But yeah, So I think that goes as a good, as the what, love, tolerate. What did they tolerate about the match? No, sorry, your question was something else. No, not love
No,
it.
my question was the standout performer for you, the surprise
Come into
performer to
Mendes.
you, and flop.
Surprise performer. Now you are forcing me to open the scoreboard because I want to be surprised. I want to see a name and be like, oh, scored. Look, it's not such a surprise, but of course, you would love seeing Ayush Matre keep doing this over and over again. I would love Vaibhav Suryavanshi and Ayush Matre to just go after bowlers. It just seems it is very very beautiful to the eye. So that's, I did not ring anybody's bell, but yeah. So that and
That was mine.
flop.
Sorry.
Mm, Flop is an interesting question because there could be so many names there. Um maybe I'll go with.
Maybe a Dhoni 400 T20.
No, you could call someone a flop when you had a huge innings expected from him. I don't think I was expecting him to, get a 50 or
No
something. Does not
expectation.
mean
So
he
you
cannot.
didn't have any expectation from Mahendra Singh Dhoni.
Yeah, I just think he's going through a lot. It's not easy. The knee is not easy, guys,
Yeah.
for standing, and especially for a batter. We all know that you have to put pressure while you're batting. So I think it's not easy. And so I did not have much of an expectation, but I would say flop. Either it would go to Ravindra Jadeja or maybe Noor. Because I think both, especially Noor, I thought was very, very poor in this wicket. I mean, in Chennai wicket, if Noor bowls this way and if he gets hit, then you know the reason why Chennai is right below at number 9. So, yeah, I would say either Noor or Jadeja.
Okay. But just to clarify, this is not Coffee with Karan. This is Post Match with Rev Sports. I'm Naman Suri and I'm joined by the panelists here. Abhishek, I'll go to you. Standout performer for you, the surprise performer for you, and the flop.
Just say the same thing.
Standout performer for me was Commendo Mendes. But the surprising performer for me was the Ishan Kishan. मैंने एक्सपेक्ट नहीं किया था कि उन्होंने 17 से ज्यादा बनाए नहीं थे किसी भी मैच में एंड the flaw for the worst you can say is Sam Curran. He got a good chance to bat at top of the order, then got the run, and also in the bowling, he got something around 20 to 25 run in two overs, if I'm not wrong. So this is what.
Okay, okay. For all the viewers, start pouring in your comments. We will be taking them one by one in a few minutes. So do not forget to engage as much as possible. Bring your friends, get engaging, ask the most difficult question because we have all the technical
Naman, it's
abilities here.
11:38. I don't think parents will allow friends to come now. Let them watch in their own homes.
Irrespective, this is my duty. Snehashish, we'll go to you before Tishadi trolls me further. Same question to you.
Yes. Well, I think the standout performer is the player of the match. I think Harshal Patel. The surprising, I will say, Kamindu Mendes because I think no one would have expected him to be that good in all departments. Suddenly, I think he had a most perfect game in all departments. So I think the surprising performance came from him. And obviously disappointing. I think it's Noor because when we are playing in Chennai and Noor is considering 42 runs in 4 overs, this is disappointing. He could have considered that runs in a pitch like Ahmedabad or maybe Eden Gardens. I could have accepted. Okay, batters score runs there. Okay, that's fine. But in a pitch like in Chennai, when and still he manages to take 2 wickets. So it shows that if he bowls that in his good rhythm, then he could manage maybe 1 or 2 more wickets, and if not more wickets, then at least he could have considered less. I think 20 runs less or something. And then this equation would have been more difficult for SRH because ultimately they chased that target in 18.4 overs. So just think 20 run less from Noor Ahmad in his 4 overs, things could have been different for both of the teams. So I think Noor, despite taking 2 wickets, I think it was a disappointing performance for me.
Okay, and then we'll end this segment with Bharat sir. Your thoughts on these three taglines that we have, tags we have. Sorry,
But worst performance or the best performance?
standout, surprise, and the flop. Whatever
Okay.
you want to, whichever way you want to go.
I'm not really much into this, so yeah, maybe standout performance. I will go for Harshal Patil. Uh, he just stuck to his old plans, old maxim. Didn't try much. Didn't try anything else. Just those cutters, dipping slower ones, back of length, slower ones, and the other one you asked about the worst performance, right? Yeah, worst performance.
Flop.
Maybe I
I mean,
think.
you expected something out of the player, but he didn't. Play according to your expectations.
That then it could be, I guess, Noor Ahmad only, because you expect him to bowl with better control. Ended up with 4 overs, 42 runs, and 2 wickets. So I think he's the one. The second one, the third one,
Third one, surprise performance.
surprise. Okay, surprise performance. I'm not very sure it is Brevis because I expected him to score some runs. Batre also is there. I think it is Ishan Kishan, 44 of 34, because he's not scored runs after that first match. So from that perspective, he needed some runs. And with great respect to him, I've said it before as well. Even when he scored that 100, I told somewhere in the second match or third match, for me, I don't really rate him that good as a player. If you ask me the top 15 IPL batters that I've seen, or even top 20, I won't have him in that list. So on especially in tricky conditions, I won't have him in that list. So see him score 44 of 34 in those conditions. I think he's the surprise performer.
Okay, there you have it. These were the standout performers, the flop or the surprise performer from our panelists. Now we'll take some comments. Neil, if you can just flash the comments. Okay, this is Tamogna. Sorry if I'm pronouncing
Tomogna.
your name
Yeah,
incorrectly. Tamogna
it's a
Basu.
Bengali name. It's basically Tomogna Basu. Yeah.
Tamogna Basu. Rashid Matre Brevis Noor Patirana is a good T20 core looking at IPL 2027. Okay. 27 is a lot further away, and we don't know if these players will still
I
remain
think
with CSK.
she meant 2026. I mean 27. तो those are
बहुत
about
दूर है. That's what I'm saying. It's too far away, and we don't know
yeah,
if these
I think
will remain with CSK.
2026 बोलने की कोशिश किया.
Okay, we'll take the next now. Himadri Shekhar Chakraborty says Snehashi's haircut makes him look even more handsome. Bharat, why did you get your mustache back? Okay, Snehashish, any comments on this?
Only a big thank you, guys, thank you.
But Bharat did not have his mustache. Oh, in his
Oh,
Travis.
he removed in
right?
between.
Yeah. In his
Sir,
Travis.
any comments on this? Himadri is not liking that mustache.
So what can I do?
Okay.
Can't do much about it.
Next-
That is his opinion. So yes, I just felt good about it, so I'm just keeping it. Yeah.
Yes, there you have it. So Lex is RN saying release Fleming, MS, Ash, Rachin, Conway, Huda, Tripathi for 26. No other way. Who are we taking then, sir?
Overall, the setup itself.
Just right. There's a need to change the overall setup. That's it.
Overall setup. So everyone here agrees that there needs to be a change.
Yeah, of course.
Abhishek is agreeing while being a bit stuck here. So I'll go on to the next.
He's stuck
RN.
because of his
No,
internet,
no,
not intent.
no.
His internet.
Not Dhoni and Fleming.
Oh, he's still going to stick with Dhoni and Fleming. Any
No,
reasons?
Dhoni stays, but Dhoni stays.
Yeah, I can walk.
Dhoni cannot be playing. Is my point. I think Abhishek is saying that, or are you saying
I mean,
Dhoni
if-
should play?
No. Abhishek was saying that Dhoni and Fleming should stay.
Yeah. Stay in the franchisee or stay
I mean,
as a play.
Dhoni as a captain, I can watch him on the wheelchair.
I'm sure you can watch him. Of course, you can watch him, buddy. But will that be useful for CSK is the point. And I get it. As a fan, I would love to watch Sachin Tendulkar play Mumbai Indians even now. But
Yeah, what can we do?
yeah,
I'll just move
I
on to
think
the next
Stephen,
one.
in my opinion, just want to add something. Stephen Fleming is outdated. Maybe Dhoni can stay for one more season. I'm not very sure about that as well. Although he still looks like a decent player against pace bowling. But Stephen Fleming, some of the comments that he's made, I feel he's outdated as a coach. He needs to reinvent himself as a coach.
Okay. Next is RN says CSK 6 overs 50 for 3 first innings, SRH 6 overs 37 for 2. Heavy dew. Chasing. Someone please decode this plot twist. I feel short on my cricket logic tonight. I'll go with Trishadi or Snehashish. You want to take this?
yeah, the plot twist was Mendis's catch, and then there was suddenly a barrage of wickets from the CSK batters, and from 114 for 4, they were all done, uh, scoring 40 more runs, 154. Because when Brevis got out, he got it was 140, 140, and after that, the entire nobody could score. Ultimately, it does not matter how many runs you score in the first 6 overs if you can't end it well. And what SRH did well, and the surprise part probably in Ishant's batting, which Abhishek and Bharat both were referring to, is the fact that he did not give away his wicket and he actually stayed there and completed the match again. Mendes was there. So ultimately, Naman, it is a game of partnerships. Doesn't matter whether it's T10, T20, test match. It's ultimately about partnerships, and that is something that CSK lacked. So yeah.
Okay, so we'll continue taking the comments, the questions that you have for our panelists at the end of the show. But before we go on to the more of the questions, just another segment that we have today is understanding where does SRH goes from here. They need to win every game from here, but how do they do? And I'll start this with Snehashish. Snehashish, your thoughts on SRH and how should they go about their matches now?
See, personally, I think this year they will not qualify for the playoffs because I know that they have to win every games, but it is going to be very tough for them. See, today CSK in that kind of a position where nothing is clicking for them. So I think if you see the way they have played at their home, every team has come and they have outplayed them at their home only. So I think for SRH it was not a very surprising victory. I think they played they split smartly, I will say, because if you see the initial games, the main problem with SRH was their one-dimensional thinking. The one thing that was, this is our style, this is the style that worked for us in last season, and we will continue with that. Whether we lost one or two matches doesn't matter. Even some videos were viral also, that in the dressing room, Pat Cummings, is motivating his players that nothing to worry, that one match has gone and we'll continue with that process. But ultimately, I think, you know after losing so many games, now the team has come to, has decided, okay, we have to consider a plan B, because in a tricky situation you cannot chase even a 150 with that kind of a mindset. You need a partnership what come into Mendes and, Nitish Reddy did. I think the way both ended the matches is so mature to see, because they could have tried to, to win the game quickly, because obviously they needed that 2 points and they need to boost the run rate also to keep them alive for the playoff race. But they understood, if they could have tried that, there is a chance that they would have lost their wicket and a collapse would have happened. So I think it was a mature innings from both of them, and that was needed. You have to play according to the situation, and hopefully SRH have managed to learn that. It was so good to see that they implemented it in this match, but I don't see them getting qualified, because from here winning every matches, considering the other opponents, it will be very much difficult for them.
So Snehashish doesn't agree that SRH can take make a
No.
turnaround. Bharat sir, your thoughts? Can this win spark a turnaround for them?
I also kind of agree with him, though obviously this win would boost their confidence a little bit. If you look at their overall team, even if you look at their bowling, yes, in these conditions, Harshal Patel and Nunatkat came good, but in some other conditions, I think they have some problems in their bowling attack as well, especially the spin department. With great respect to Rahul Chahar, though Zishan, I think, is a good bowler, brave spinner. Although they keep dropping catches of this poor guy, but I think I think he has some potential there. Still, they have problems outside of him. Pat Cummins has also gone for runs on tracks that are quite flat or don't offer much for pace bowlers. So even with their bowling, they have problems, and with the batting, the one positive is in these conditions, their batters were able to gauge the conditions and then gauge the climbs and then play accordingly. So that is a plus point for SRH fans as well, because I kind of expected them to. Collapse, especially after Abhishek Sharma got out second ball. Then I suddenly thought that maybe SRH would be 20 for 4 or 30 for 4, but that didn't happen. So that's a plus point. Still, I don't think they're good enough to qualify for playoffs. It seems like those top 5, top 6 teams with LSG maybe punching above their weight. Those teams look like are in the race to qualify.
Trishadi, your thoughts on that? SRH, does they hold a chance?
Yeah, I was just checking the SRH, like the last 5 matches that they have left. They have Gujarat Titans, Delhi Capitals, and Royal Challengers Bangalore. Considering all three are well above they're in the top three to be precise, and LSG is at 5, 6. LSG is at 6. Um, so it's difficult, especially when you have out of 5, even if you lose one, you are almost staring down the barrel. So that's one thing. And the other thing, if you note of both the teams that played today, they're NRRs, because both of them are in such a situation. Let's just say that they win all their remaining games, then one finishes at 14 and the other finishes at 16, unless there is another SRH CSK game. No, thank god. I was like, my maths would have gone on. But yeah, one will finish on 14, one will finish on 16. But the NRR of SRH is minus 1.103 and Chennai is minus 1.302. So only winning now won't matter. Close games, it won't help you. You have to win, and you have to win well. So I think to do that, coming out of a slump is very, very difficult. Looks like the end of the road for SRH in
Both.
this IPL for sure. And you could see somewhere that even if you see the reactions of Kavya Maran, you could feel that even she knows that things have not gone well. Just one thing, I think SRH will have the fact that they were being very, very stubborn. That's the fact that they're gonna blame and rue after this season ends, and you would hope that they don't continue that.
So SRH is not pulling an RCB. That is for sure. That's coming from Trishadi. Abhishek,
I don't
अगर
think
आप
RCB can pull an RCB again, to be honest.
Abhishek, if you are there and if you can hear us, your thoughts. SRH क्या कम बैक कर सकती है? 6 में से 6 एक जीत चुकी है, 5 में से 5 जीत सकती है, 2 मैच होम पे है उनके.
I mean, miracle can happen, but still, they are out of the qualification race, playoff qualification race. But still, उनके पास टाइम है इस साल और भी एक्सपेरिमेंट करने का और सीखने का. आई मीन दैट वो स्लॉगिंग पार्ट को खत्म करो, सम स्टेबल बैटिंग करो एंड डोंट थ्रो योर विकेट. सो ये कुछ अगर एक्सपेरिमेंट्स वो करते हैं नेक्स्ट फ्यू मैचेस, दे हैव अ गुड स्क्वाड फॉर द 2026 IPL. So this is they had a lot of to learn. आप उनको प्ले ऑफ में जाना नहीं है ये सोच सकते हैं. सो वो अपना एक बेटर कॉम्बिनेशन जो कि उनको मिला नहीं है वो ट्राई कर सकते हैं कि मिल जाए इस IPL में, वो सारे आंसर्स कवर्ड हो जाएं सो दैट यू कैन go with confidence in the next season.
Okay, so there you have it. 4 out of 4 have said this is the end of the road for SRH this season, and I too believe this is not possible anymore for them to turn around. And with that, we will just turn to the final few comments before we end the show, before we say goodbye and come back to you from tomorrow for tomorrow matches. So we'll head on to the comments. Neil, if you can just put on the final few comments that have poured in. Neil,
Neil,
still
still
there?
awake? Around? No?
Okay, I'll
Sleeping?
do it.
There.
Ta Tamogna Basu, sorry
No,
again.
it's Tomogna. Tomogna.
Tamogna Basu.
Yeah.
Noor, most disappointing. More than 40 plus runs, and his no balls were the turning point when the match
Oh,
was in
yes.
balance. Yes, we have discussed everyone. I mean, I think Snehasis and Bharat sir put it that he was the biggest flop, and I think Abhishek also did, if I remember correctly. Trisha did it. Okay. I don't know if Abhishek also did, but irrespective, we'll move on to the next one. Asim Hans says in the pre-match, Atreo disagreed with me that SRH were the favorites going into this. CSK's plan A has no intent to win itself. See, I just say this. Atreo sir said that he has lived a lot of his days in Chennai, so that's why he was supporting. There was nothing much to that. Yes.
No, don't do that with Asim. Asim sits
Please,
with a notebook and pen and paper. Just by
please.
the way, for people who don't know about Asim Hans, ask Snehashish and me. We would forget what we had predicted. Asim Hans would come and say, "No, you had predicted 118. It is 120." But there were times when Snehashish and I were so off the mark, that the mark wouldn't be visible at all. We would have said somebody will score 200. They would get all out within 110. So we have been we have had such things, but Asim, I think his reporter days, Achoda has had spent a long, good 4 or 5 years, if I'm not wrong, in Chennai, and that's where I think the love for Chennai comes.
So okay, we have to be wary of Asim because he has a notebook on the go. He says again that Ishan Kishan not walking off biggest surprise.
No, I
That
think happens. In the
yeah.
moment, it happens that at times you feel probably something has brushed. I was just sad that it never happened to any of the batters when I was bowling to them.
If I remember correctly, Virat Kohli also did something of this sort
You
against
didn't need to
Pakistan.
remember. Social media is posting that. Don't lie that you remembered, Naman.
No. Seriously, I did. When Ishan Kishan walked off, the first thing that came off my mind was that he did a Virat Kohli that he did.
Okay.
I mean, I think that was a bat clicking, and Virat
Yeah,
thought he was
that was
out.
a pull.
Yeah, pull
That
shot.
he was trying. Hi.
Yes, and that came to my mind instantly for that reason. So that's why I put not reading social media and saying Trisha is on completely out to get me. Azim again says thoughts on Sam Curran coming at number 3 today. Brevis coming in so late at number 5. He came at number 4. Brevis number 5 or number 4? If I'm not wrong. Okay, number 5. Except Matre and Brevis, why aren't the CSK batters having any intent to score quickly? Bharat sir, you want to take this?
It also comes down to skill factor, I guess. If you look at players like they have at least in the bench Rahul Tripathis of the world or Deepak could have played today. I don't think they have the skills to play in that fashion, though they might try. Uh, and even today, if you look at it, Deepak could was trying to hit through the offside, but when he was trying to hit through the offside, his bottom hand was coming off the bat handle. There's a clear sign that he's very much a bottom-handed player. He holds it too tight, the grip, and that is why he's not able to play enough shots with the offside. By now, he should have improved his game. He should have tweaked his grip, but he's not. So I think that is also a factor. So it's good that they're at least getting those younger players into the equation, playing them, the Brevises of the world or the Ayush Matres of the world, because they play without any fear, and they have the shots as well. If you look at Ayush Matre, he has the shots, His footwork at this point of time may be a question mark, but in T20 cricket, at least he has the shots, he can play with intent, and that is why he can play with intent. So you also need the strokes. It's not just about having intent. I think that is where CSK were having a problem, at least for a major part of this particular tournament, at least now, than getting those youngsters and allowing them to play.
Tomogna Basu says again, finally they got Klassen's batting order right. With his quality, he should not have to bat after Nitish Reddy. Nitish also suits 5 and below much better. Abhishek has been quiet for a while now. I'll take him. Abhishek, your thoughts on this?
Uh, yeah, I mean, I also agree with the clash in starting last match जब आज पे आए थे तो मुझे भी लगा कि I mean it was a bit too late that he's coming after the NKR. But right now I think 4 is the better position and he has 4-5 matches to fire as well. So yeah, it's good to see Klasin at the 4. And NKR part I think is not as bad as he is in this season. Maybe he will improve that. He have all kind of capabilities.
Okay.
Naman, I was actually I wanted to add something to I mean I think the strategy, and I'm talking about CSK batting, not SRH. I was just kind of doing a little bit of calculation and thinking, why did Sam Curran come at 3? Sam Curran came at 3, I think, to break that right combo and get the left-hander. And it was a throw of the dice, I believe, between Jaddu and Brevis on the basis of Zishan Ansari bowling. Because of the leg break, they wanted another left-hander to be there, and that is why I think they sent Jadeja ahead of Brevis. Otherwise, you would have seen Brevis coming in at 4, and then Jaddu maybe at 5, and so on.
Okay, and final few comments. Devan Majumdar says, can't imagine CSK versus SRH was 2018 final. Today, both are at bottom of the table. Yes, it is very sad to see two of the biggest teams at the bottom of the table, but that is how cricket goes, how sports goes, and this is, I mean, every team has their up and downs, and this was bound to happen with the team getting so old. We just go on to the next.
With the team getting so old?
Just wanted to add one point.
CSK, the players getting so old. Sorry about that.
One just wanted to add
it was the youngest team, but the average is what 27 today.
Which team? SRH?
No, CSK.
CSK today was average.
CSK is the.
Okay. That's a fact.
Just wanted to add a point.
Yes.
That was 2018 is like 2,550 days ago. So it's a long ago. A lot of things can change. 2,550 days.
You just calculated.
Did you just do that calculation, Bharat, or just randomly put up
random number?
Yeah, it is around 2,550 only.
Okay. Kishu Patel says, great that Shami not retained by GT because 8 matches, 6 wicket, 10.7 economy, 48 average. Is his white ball career done? Because Champions Trophy also average. Okay, because Snehashish, you want to take this? You have also been a bit quiet.
Great that Mohammad Shami retained by GT.
Don't enter the computer. We will read it for you. Great that Mohammad Shami was not retained by Gujarat Titans because in 8 matches he has picked up 6 wickets, 10.70 economy, 48 average. Is his white ball career done? Because Champions Trophy was also average.
It's very difficult because if you see his performance in the Champions Trophy, it was not so bad. If you see, especially with the new ball, I think
it was average.
But for me it was good. It was not bad because if you see after long injury layoff, he came back in that England series at home. He was not looking in that good rhythm in that series. I will say that for sure. But in the Champions Trophy, he was good. I think in the first match he was not looking that good. But after that, from the second match onwards, Shami was on point. Especially I am particularly with that new ball. I am saying. So I think throughout the tournament he was good. But yes, in this IPL he has not clicked. See, T20 is a defined format, and right now I think the mentality and the mindset of T20 batters, especially in a tournament like IPL, has changed a lot. So I think as a bowler you need to think more out of the box right now, and from the ball one, and that is the only way you can improve your stats and numbers. Otherwise, as Bharat mentioned, that Stephen Fleming might be outdated with his thinking and all. I think as a bowler you have to think ahead of the batter every day, because if you do well today, in the next match the opposition batter will come with with a better plan to tackle you. So you have to give, you have to improve yourself in that kind of a way that you have to have a step ahead of that batter in that particular day. So I think for Shami, I think somehow the plans are not working, but doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't show that the career is end or something like that. One season can happen with everyone, and Shami has proven a lot in his career. Not only in franchise cricket in IPL, even for India also in big tournaments. Remember the 2023 World Cup? It happened in India only. So I think that shows that he has all the capability. And one season it happens with everyone. Hopefully in the next season he will be back. And why next season? Still, SRH have some matches left. We can see some best performance till maybe waiting for us from Mohammad Shami.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm taking.
just 1 point. Sorry. Um, my only thing was you also have to understand that Shami is bowling from one end, and Cummins is bowling from the other end. And Cummins is generally someone who's economical. So as a batter, obviously Shami will be attacked more. That is where I thought Shami could have used a few more variations right in the beginning, but somewhere I feel he's a very what do you call that? He's a very orthodox bowler. In the initial overs, he likes bowling a certain way. Those are the things that he needs to work on. And to be very, very exact with the answer about his career is far, far, far from over. And all these comments will change once Shami goes to England, gets that red cherry, picks up 5 wickets, and people all of a sudden will go, "Oh, Shami, that's the bowler we were
Shami's.
looking for." So it's
Yeah, I
fine.
will. I will also just add a point on him.
Okay,
I
sir,
always
go
look
ahead.
at bowlers from two axes, x-axis and y-axis for a fast bowler. I think he's got his pace back somewhere. He's not got his nip back, kind of nip that he had in the 2023 World Cup. That's I think missing. That in that sense, the first ball was a good one. There is some venom behind that ball. So it's not just about pace. See, for example, I go back to that KKR versus RCB game, the first game. Rafiq Salam bowled one at 135 kilometers per hour. Josh Hazelwood bowled at one at 135 kilometers per hour. The Rafiq Salam delivery just sat up and Rahane pulled it. Hazelwood bowled at 135 kilometer per hour delivery, and he got that heavy ball to kick up, and the bat turned in the batter's hands. So it's not just about the pace; it's also about what to do with the ball. Somewhere that little bit of nip is, I think, missing in his bowling, which happens to even the greatest of bowlers at the end of their respective careers. If you notice how Jimmy Anderson was bowling in the 2023 Ashes, he was still getting the ball swing, but somewhere that little bit of nip was somewhere missing. I think that's what is, in my opinion, the problem for Mohammad Shami. Hopefully, he gets it back by the Tour of England because he needs to. He has not done well in England. He averages over 40 there, so he needs to be at his best to perform well in England.
Okay, so last comment we're taking, Keith, quickly before you all end the show. Please tell me whether both KKR and SRH can make a comeback as they both will face against each other, or are they washed for all practical purposes? See, Keith, we have already said that SRH is done and dusted. All five of us has agreed on that. For KKR, though, you will have to tune in tomorrow because this is not tomorrow. Today itself in the evening, it's a new day. You guys have to tune in back. We will be back with all the new. I mean, the post-match, pre-match, 12 noon, 5 p.m. show, all the shows tomorrow at Rev Sports. So do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. And tomorrow it's okay.
Tomorrow, 12 noon, there is a special interview. Do mention
Okay,
that.
there you have it. There's
At
a
the
special
South
interview
African
coming.
captain.
There you have it. It is a special big interview that is coming up. You guys will love it because it involves Trishadi, it involves Sneha Sheesh, and It is going to be big. So
You
do
can't
not
watch
forget to
me.
tune in.
I'm not there in the interview. I'm not the South African captain. Snehashish is the
Hey, you are
interviewer.
interviewing, ma'am.
No, I am not. I am producing the interview.
Okay. That is perspective. Do not forget to tune in tomorrow as well, because Shreyas Iyer is coming back to the team to face the team that he helped win the title at their home at Eden Gardens. So it is going to be a big clash between KKR and Punjab. So do tune in, and until then, good night, Shabba Khair. Bye bye.
But
KBC Fields.